For the last 3.5 years, I've been making over all of the spaces in my house. Project by project and room by room, I've transformed each space from bland and builder grade to custom to not only to my personal style, but also what functions best for our family, which can sometimes take a few rounds of renovations to get right. In my last video, I talked about my renovation plans for the upcoming year, but before I jump into those, I've got some smaller projects and some home maintenance items to take care of, so I'll be ready to start those bigger projects. This is the Siterwell wireless smoke alarm and carbon monoxide detector. So it comes equipped with a 10-year lithium battery, and it's going to be activated whenever I install it to the base plate. This 10-year battery makes it energy efficient, and it offers a decade of maintenance-free use with a single installation. This plastic is actually flame retardant certified, which means it's resistant to higher temperatures, which effectively protects all of the internal electronic components in here. So we're going to be placing the new detector here where the old one was. I don't think it had been replaced since the house was built almost 20 years ago, so it was definitely time. Also, for some reason, the old one was caulked in, and so it damaged some of the drywall, which I'll have to worry about later. The Siterwell smoke detector has a mute button right here in the middle, so if it starts chirping in the middle of the night and it is just because of a low battery, you can press the mute button and it'll mute it for 10 hours, so you don't have to get up and find batteries and replace it right then. It also will turn it off if it's a false alarm, but it will still keep detecting. Installation is super simple. The unit is wireless, so all you need to do is screw the base plate into the ceiling. Once that is attached, you take the actual detector and just twist it into place, which activates it, and your room is protected and ready to go. The smoke and carbon monoxide tester also has a micro mesh design, so that's going to block insects and other debris, and it's going to give you a more accurate reading. So it actually has an accuracy of up to 99.96%, which is crazy good. One cool thing about the detector is it has an optical sensor, so it's a lot less sensitive to like cooking smoke, which is really convenient because the kitchen's right here, and so it'll hopefully have a lot less false alarms. The detector also has a smart voice alarm that's going to tell you if it's detecting carbon monoxide or smoke. You can test the detector by pressing and holding this button right here. So it's going to tell us in English and in French.
Warning, carbon monoxide. Attention, monoxide de carbone.
The detector was flashing red whenever the alarm was going off, but whenever it's not, it is designed to have a really low light. It's not going to be a continuous light that's going to keep you up or annoy you if you're sensitive to light. I want to test the detector in a real life situation. I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to light it on fire and see if the detector can detect the smoke and go off and tell us.
Fire, incendie.
Knowing that my family is protected from smoke and carbon monoxide makes my home feel a whole lot safer. So if you guys want to go check out the Siterwell carbon monoxide and smoke detector, I will leave the link down in the description below. So here is the guest bedroom, and here is the closet that I'm going to be using, that I am going to turn into storage for all of my home decor and whatever else I need, because it is overflowing the rest of the spaces in my home. It gets stacked in here anyway, but let me show you this closet. It's kind of embarrassing, but all the stuff that I have stuffed in there. Alright, the closet is all cleaned out, and in order to access it better, I'm going to go ahead and take off these doors so we can get some measurements, get our supplies, and start building our shelves back. Okay, I'm removing all of these little pieces here that were for the wire shelving. So there's a better way to do this, or a good way to do this. You have to remove this little nail here. I mean, this is what it looks like when you do that. It'll just pull straight out of the wall and then you'll have a little hole. But if you can't get that out and you just yank the whole thing out, it's gonna really damage your drywall a lot more. So just a little tip, if you're removing those, make sure you get the nail out first if you can. So this is what I am thinking. I'm thinking that I'm gonna do 4 different shelves, and then I'm gonna need a support in the middle because this span of the closet is 90 inches. So I'm gonna need a support because I'm gonna be putting some heavy stuff. I have my cut list for all of my pieces, and then also my supply list that I need to go to the store and get. All right, I've got all of my supplies, these plywood boards here. I've got some 1x2s over in the corner there. So I'm cutting down the ends of these. I had them rip the boards at Lowe's to be 23 inches wide, but they come 96 inches long, and I need 90 inches for the closet. So I'm just using my saw and just ripping, or cross-cutting these plywood pieces here. These are going to be our big shelf boards, and then I'm going to take another piece here and I'm going to be cutting it into sections, and that's going to be our support pieces in the middle. All right, I've got all my boards here laid out. I gave them just a very light sanding because they were already pretty smooth, and now it is time to paint. So here are my supplies. I get a lot of questions on stuff like this, so I figured I would tell you. I am using these rollers. This is made for smooth to semi-smooth surfaces, and I really like microfiber rollers because I think that they really go on really well, and they give a lot more coverage than the regular rollers. And then I am using the color Greek Villa from Sherwin-Williams, and the paint, this is just a Valspar paint and primer in one. It's inexpensive, you can get it from Lowe's. Before we start installing the boards, I'm going to go ahead and use that same color, that Greek Villa by Sherwin-Williams, and give this closet a fresh coat of paint. It's just pretty beat up over the years. It's this flat paint that shows everything. I'm using a satin, so hopefully it's going to camouflage all of those scuffs. Okay, it's time to install all of our pieces, and before I install these big long pieces, I'm installing the braces. This is what the shelf is going to sit on, so it's really, really important that I get these braces, these screws, into studs because it's going to be holding a lot of weight, so I really need it to be super solid. So I got my first one level, and then I just took a couple boards I'm going to use as spacers, so I'll put those like this, and then my next brace will go on top of it so I can have even spacing all the way up and not have to remeasure every single time. It's also super helpful to pre-drill your screws like this so you know where your studs are, so when you're holding it up there and you only have one hand, these are already started in the wood. Okay, the shelves are all in, but you can probably see that they are kind of sagging a bit. So that's why I mentioned that we need supports in the middle, like this bottom one down here. That's how it's gonna go. But I do need to notch out the baseboard so I can slide that support all the way back to the wall. So I'm just gonna take my oscillating tool right here and notch that out. After the shelves and all of the supports were in, I wanted to add these 1x2s to the front of the plywood because the edges of the plywood are very rough and they're not meant to be unfinished like that. So I'm just covering them with the 1x2. That's also going to make my shelf a little bit deeper and also going to cover up that ugly side of the plywood. Okay, the main structure is done, but now comes all the finishing work. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to add wood filler to all the little nail holes, and then I'm going to caulk everywhere where the wood meets the wall and like right here, and it's just going to also help it look better but make it more secure as well. Okay, the closet is all done, and now I'm going to put some of my stuff back in it, start organizing it. It'll be easier to do that with the doors off, and then once I get all of that in there, we'll put the doors back on and the project will be done. I still have lots more to add into this closet, but I won't bore you with all of that organization. But this is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys got some ideas how to make your space function better, and I will be back soon with another video. Bye!